What's so crazy? The Leafs won back-to-back games the moment everyone decided they should sell? Close. It's that after tomorrow, the Leafs will have won 3 games in a row after everyone decided they should sell. That's funny. Well, everyone except them. Kidding. Maybe. Let's go! It starts with an A and ends with anxiety. Off the charts levels of passion! That's just a nightmare! With you wherever you are, welcome to LFR. Victory puppies! The Leafs win! So that's $50 for the, what's it called again? The Humane Society of Durham Region. There you go. That a boy. It's 1:20 in the morning. Leafs win 4-2 over the Calgary Flames in Calgary, allegedly. Let's go ahead and talk about that game. But first, you looking for the perfect Valentine's Day gift? Well, Tingly is the perfect Valentine's Day gift for those who want to give something meaningful without overthinking it. It removes the stress of gift shopping and guarantees a gift that will actually get used. Tingly is an experience gift voucher, giving your partner the freedom to choose from thousands of unforgettable experiences. That is across the world. Worldwide, you might say. There are 150,000 experiences worldwide, so you can even use it while traveling. No expiration date. Perfect for last-minute gifting, since the e-voucher arrives within seconds. So if you'd like to get this exclusive Tingly deal, use code STEVE for 20% off all experience gift boxes at tingly.com/Steve. This Valentine's Day, give stories, not stuff. Now back to the LFR. All right, now let's talk about the game. Now, I said allegedly in Calgary. Listen, Leafs fans are always very well-traveled for road games, and we say well-traveled. Leafs fans live everywhere also. Every NHL market has Leafs fans in it, but there's a lot in Canada. This is the most dominant road game I've ever seen from the fan base. Like, outside of the teams that are actually close to Toronto. Like Buffalo, Ottawa, yeah, that's not all that surprising. You're kind of used to that, but they're not 3-hour flights away. Buffalo's not even a 3-hour drive away. Depending on the time of day, it could be like 5. But you know what I mean? And you might be like, well, Flames fans sold their tickets because, I mean, why not make a few extra bucks? And I understand making a few extra bucks. But also, the Flames stink, so why would you even go to the game? And that I understand too. Why then was the building packed with Leafs fans? Like, the Leafs season's going better than Calgary's, but not by a wide margin. The place was packed. People were sending me photos of literally hundreds of Leafs fans packing right up to the glass over an hour and a half before puck drop. And I'm like, how are you even in the building? I didn't know doors were open. Could have been staff for all I know. It wasn't staff. And the Leafs, uncharacteristically, as of lately, did not let the fans down. 35 seconds in. You never know when you're about to see Dialed Willy. Yeah, we'll come up with a better nickname than that. When William Nylander is locked in, offensively, he's a top 10 weapon in the league. At bare minimum, he's a top 10 offensive wing. What about this? What about that? I'm not talking about his overall game. I'm talking about offense. But when he's playing like this, he's on offense all the time because he has the puck. This whole sequence is hilarious. Calgary has the puck in the offensive zone. They go to make a pass. It gets intercepted by John Tavares. Before it's even intercepted, Willy reads it, and he's just Bugs Bunny the Roadrunner. Meep, meep. He recognizes what's about to happen before anyone else, and he makes his move. And there's nothing, I mean nothing, that the Flames can do. They have 3 players in the screenshot. You're screwed, no shot, and you're about to get front row seats. Willy's on a breakaway, even though he stumbles a little bit, still beats Kuznetsov, and then snipes it past Dustin Wolf on the first shot of the game. A casual 35 seconds in, it's 1-0 Leafs. And thank goodness that we got that, because boy, the next half hour was a slog. Wasn't quite half an hour of game time, but it was close. The rest of the first period, the beginning of the second period, wow. that was just an aggressive, violent amount of nothing. Like from both teams. Calgary didn't shoot. The Leafs shot even less. I don't think players tank, and I don't think coaches tank. I think GMs tank. Of course GMs tank, but not players and not coaches. And for about 25-30 minutes of this game, the Leafs and Flames were out there tanking for the love of the game. Just booting the puck around like it wasn't round. But as long as the Leafs are winning, it's fine. And in the second period, oh right, there's Dialed Willy. Nah, you know what? The name's growing on me. Is Dialed Willy growing on you? 1:30 a.m. It is 1:30 a.m. Now this is Dialed Willy and also just the Flames. John Tavares has a scoring chance. He misses. Puck goes around. It's kept alive along the half wall, I believe, by Philip Myers, and it's booted behind the net again. John Tavares has the puck in his feet, face to the glass. He needs options. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Flames, including 3 of them standing in front of the net, are all like, gosh, that's John Tavares. You think he'd give me an autograph if I asked nice? I don't know what else they were doing. And so Willy, who's standing in front of the net, is like, should I go? Should I go? I'm gonna go give him an option. Is that okay if I give him an option? So he just like scoots on in there and he gets into a minor puck battle that he wins easily and goes, don't mind if I do, and just shovels it in front. And then Matias Maccelli, who no one is looking at because he's not the puck, gets the puck. Well, now everyone's looking at him just in time to watch him snipe it. Matias Maccelli and the second line continue to cook, and it's 2-0 Leafs. And less than 2 minutes later, it happens again. A little 4-on-4 action. Penalties. We'll talk about that later. William Nylander is out there with Austin Matthews. And again, great scoring chance for Austin Matthews. Doesn't go in, but they keep it alive. The Flames are hopeless. So Willy has the puck, and therefore every Flame is looking at him. So Troy Stetcher's like, can I just scoot on down there? You go ahead and scoot there, Troy. So he scoots, and he scores. It's a nice play. Nylander with his 3rd point on the Leafs' 3rd goal, and it's 3-0 Leafs. So I'm sitting there, and I know they should sell, and I know they should probably tank. And I can't help that I like that they're up 3-0. Because let's be honest, the tank hasn't really begun. Remember, it's not really tanking until you do it on purpose. And they haven't started doing that yet. They haven't even decided if they're gonna do it, which is concerning, frankly. But they're up 3-0 and I'm happy about it. But then the Flames decide to try, which coincided with the Leafs having to defend. It was a bad mix all around. The Ekman-Larsson, Jake McCabe pairing was out there, which is a thing Craig Berube insists on doing. And the Flames attack Oliver Ekman-Larsson 2-on-1. And they put that man in the Lex Luger torture rack. Here he is at the beginning, and realizing quickly, oh no, there's 2 of you. One of them has it, I'm gonna look at him. The other has it, I'm spun around and look silly now. And Nazem Kadri, who doesn't need much to shoot at, shoots at the not much and scores. And the Flames are on the board. All right, still 3-1. Well, Flames buzzing again, and they got the puck, and they fire a shot cross crease, but it's okay, because there's a defender there. Oh, it's Oliver Ekman-Larsson, and he's late and doesn't even have a hand on the guy. OEL, he's had a great season. Not the greatest game. Joel Farabee taps it in, and the comeback is on. And this is where tanking's hard. The tanking's hard. Yeah, it's easy in video games. It's easy on paper. It's hard when you really like the team. Well, no. If you really want your team to succeed, you'll want them to get the best pick possible. That's not how brains work. I know that cheering for tanking is technically cheering for future wins, but again, that's not how brains work. And tonight was really awkward because it was less for my own entertainment and more for that building is full of Leafs fans. Like 70-30 generously. And I just couldn't help but think that each and every one of them was about to experience the worst 48 hours of their lives. You blow a 3-0 lead to the Flames in Calgary, and not just the Flames, but these Flames, after packing the barn and probably paying a premium for it, and still like a third of the price of what you would pay here. I know that they need to tank. I can't watch them go through it. I can't watch them do it. It's not right. It's not right! Because you're at the game, and then you're going to be at the game mad, and then you got to leave the building, and you got to leave the building mad, and you're wearing the jersey that identifies you as someone who's mad, and then the next day you go to work and you're mad, or maybe you traveled there and now you're traveling mad. Have they made a trade? They have not. Now I'm mad about that. Oh, and then they play McDavid and the Oilers the next day. I'm like, no, the Leafs can't blow this, no! You know what? They tried. The hockey gods have shown over the years Toronto Maple Leafs, goodness gracious, we hate you. But tonight, for at very least tonight, the hockey gods were like, Calgary Flames, I hate you that much more. They took a shot that Philip Myers cleared off the goal line, but before he cleared it off the goal line, it bounced right in front of the goal line and then away from where it was going a second ago. That's just the hockey gods going, LMAO at you and your hope. But the best one was Joseph Woll being a goaltender who wasn't tending the goal! Now, in his defense, he was leaving the net to play a routine dump in, but it takes a funny hop off the boards. Joseph Woll has to say, oh, fiddlesticks! And he goes, wait a minute, I'll fiddle my stick! Again, oh man, it's just the phrasing I gotta work on. Anyway, he fiddles his stick right to where the puck was. And Adam Klapka cannot bury what should have been the easiest goal of his life. Joseph Woll paddle save. He's made, over the past 2 games, some truly cartoonish saves. Like slapstick style saves. Like, I didn't give nearly enough flowers to overtime when Willy gave it away, and then Woll goes, hi-ya! I think we were all too busy screaming obscenities to realize that was actually a 10-beller. But somehow, despite their best efforts to cough this up, Bobby McMahon, with a great rush, scores an empty netter. The Leafs survive. The fans go home happy in Calgary. Leafs win. And now they get Edmonton, in Edmonton, tomorrow. With a bunch of those same fans, I'm sure, going to be in attendance. Questions. How are you feeling about the power play these last couple of games? Okay, so I know the Leafs won, and I find these things land better after the Leafs won, because when they lost, they think you're just complaining that they lost. Nope, they won, so I want to get this off my chest. There was that 4-on-4 thing. That's not a power play. The Leafs scored on it, but it's not a power play. And during the game, before the broadcast even mentioned it, I was thinking to myself, when was the Leafs' last power play? I don't think they got one against the Canucks. Did they get one against the Canucks? And I checked, and no, they didn't. They did get a penalty shot in overtime, and I think the reason that was called is because it was a penalty shot! But a penalty shot is not a power play. The Leafs' last power play was a Shane Wright penalty in the Seattle game on Thursday. 5 minutes in, almost exactly 5 minutes into the third period. For math's sake, we'll say there was exactly 15 minutes left in the third. So you don't get a power play for the last 15 minutes of the third. There's 15 minutes. Then there's the Canucks game. That's the full 60 plus an extra 5 for overtime, and you made it through the whole 5 because it went to a shootout. So there's 65. 15 plus 65 equals 80. And then there's this game. You go the first period without getting one. Now you're at 100. You go the second period without getting one. Now you're at an even 2 hours of game time without a power play. And then you get to the end of the third period. You are at 2 hours and 20 minutes of game time. Nearly 2.5 hours without a single power play. A single one. Sure. You bet. And isn't this the question? Why are the Leafs seemingly terrible at drawing penalties? Aha! So, anytime I bring this up, there is the argument that, well, the Leafs aren't drawing penalties this season because they never have the puck. And it's kind of true. They don't. They get outshot a lot. They get outpossessed a lot. It's not good. But that, my friend, is a great prime example of something called using the truth to lie. We had a clip go up on social media a few weeks ago of us talking about this very thing on the podcast, and the comments are just full of people going, yeah, well, they don't work hard, they don't move their feet, and they never have the puck. The clip is talking about how during the entire Matthews era, that's starting in the 2016-17 season, from that season onward, the Leafs have never once been top half of the NHL in power play opportunities. I'm going to repeat that again. Since Austin Matthews made his NHL debut, the Leafs have never been top half of the NHL in power play opportunities. The highest they've been is 18th. They're usually camping somewhere in the 20s, and right now they're dead spanking last. So the question, Why can't the Leafs draw penalties? Well, this season, they definitely don't do the right things to draw calls. But in this one, especially the trip on Benoit in the third period, the refs just decided, we're just not doing it. Yeah, well, the Leafs are soft. Dude. Over the time span that I'm talking about, first of all, they've never even lucked into the top half. Luck! 3 different head coaches, Mike Babcock, Sheldon Keefe, Craig Berube. Those guys don't coach the same. Not at all. And you can point to Austin, you can point to Willy, you can point to Mitch, he was there a very long time, you can point to Tavares, you can point to some of the guys who have been recurring characters over this era. Do you know how many Leafs have come and gone over the course of Austin Matthews' career? Actually, I could show you. This here is a chart that someone that I played beer league with gave me of every single Leaf, down to the coaching staff and management, that has been a Leaf since I started making LFR videos. Austin Matthews' career starts right here and goes all the way over here. Everyone from here onward has been a Leaf over Matthews' career. So the answer for why that is, I don't know. You'd have to ask the refs. You can't. They don't talk. So people can point to this year's team and the way that they play, and they're not even wrong, honestly. But ask them why that is. Ask them why over the past 9-10 seasons, the Leafs have never once been top half of the league in power play opportunities. They won't be able to come up with anything, so they're probably just going to call you names, but they can't call you wrong. But let's wrap this up, because the Leafs play in less than 24 hours. So my friend, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell your friends the Leafs don't draw calls because... That's all.